How dare you? How dare you?
He put the cheese on the cracker.
Keys to success, pray before the end.
Hampton OB.
I know what I'm talking about, and the gentleman to my right, he knows what he's talking about.
Sponsored by your local Chevy dealers at ChevyDriveChicago.com.
The Bears are what we thought they were.
The Hampton OB show starts now.
Hampton OB, sponsored by your local Chevy dealers at ChevyDriveChicago.com. Put a Chevy Silverado in your toolbox. Andy Masur alongside the guys, and I cannot believe what we just saw. The Bears actually came back to win a football game without scoring a touchdown. 12-10, the final over the Minnesota Vikings.
Danielle Hunter combining on that stop. 3rd down and 5. Blitz coming. Fields gets rid of it. Kmet on the catch and just driving for first down yardage.
If you're playing quarterback against this group.
It doesn't come right out. Fields in trouble. Shows off what he can do with his legs and finds Johnson for the first down.
And giving Fields a place to go with the football.
3 third down conversions on this first possession. Fields able to get away. And now finds Herbert. Boy, Justin Fields right now is putting together some kind of drive. 3rd down and 13. Pass is caught by Kmet. And the tackle is made by Danielle Hunter. As the drive stalls after the impressive start. 48-yard try by Cario Santos. Wide right. Down in 21. Fields underneath. Roschon Johnson takes it inside the 40, so they don't get the first down, but now that allows everybody up and coming after Fields. He's got Kmet, and Kmet's got the first down. Inside the 20 and now inside the 15. That's Johnson. Hit him in stride. Good, strong tackle by the Vikings and Cameron Bynum.
Just a really good job of rallying to the ball carrier.
25-yard try. Snap was high. Kick is good. And the first points of the night belong to the Bears on the road. Not as mobile as we will see Josh Dobbs here tonight. Here's Madison left side. Nice cut. And another and a first down. The first of the night for the Vikings. A gain of 8.
He's tough. He's not as explosive as Chandler, who we'll see a fair amount tonight.
Dobbs protected and picked by Jalen Johnson. Johnson on the return will take it down inside the 40. And a takeaway for the Chicago defense.
From a defense as aggressive as Flores is.
3-man rush, that's it on 3rd and 14. Fields, Mooney overthrown, and then Mooney gets hit by Metellus.
Al should be playing your 4th, but he's had to get a lot more snaps.
Dobbs, too hot, and on the deflection, an interception by Brisker. It was off the hands of Addison, and instead back to work he goes, and DJ Moore is able to break this one for a big completion. Got a good block again from Equanimous St. Brown and a gain of 22.
It looks like they're coming now.
Ngakoue got picked up. Now here's Fields just stumbling around and out of bounds short. And here's Powell spinning. What a catch. Working on Kyler Gordon.
Have the body control and make a play on the football. Just excellent job.
Vikings hurry it up now. Osborne for another first down.
So that's what happens so many times, Joe, is
the relief effort against Atlanta, the 2 starts. On first down, here's Hawkinson. Incomplete. But a flag. Kyler Gordon in coverage, and a flag came in. It'll be pass interference, the call against Chicago.
Pass interference, defense number 6. Ball's placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
hopefully he can turn into the player that they drafted him to be.
3rd down and 24. They set up a screen for Madison, who gets some of that yardage back. But with the clock winding down, we are headed for from 34. Tie game. And under 3.4 for the season. But here they go. They hand off. Madison Nice cutback, and Alexander Madison across the 45 as he picks up 21. They fake it to Madison. Dobbs is sacked.
His third downs right here at midfield are vital.
Hand off to Johnson. He is able to pick it up.
No, based on this play, although right now.
Here's a quarterback run right up the middle for the first down. Third down and 2. DJ Moore, well played by the Vikings. No gain. Able to knock it through. Addison in motion. Madison broke one tackle and has a first down carry.
And then Terrell Smith, who we just mentioned is a 5th-round pick, he got the start tonight. They've got some good young players.
Here's Chandler. And a good tackles made by TJ Edwards.
Boy, you're not kidding. That is an excellent job.
Analytics likes this call up to 6 yards. 4th down and 3. And this one up in the air and picked off by Edwards. And Edwards came down with it. Here's Fields. He keeps. Has the edge and has a nice carry and run. First down. Got a good block from Tunyon.
The evaluation is tonight, and it's through the rest of this season. I don't think they know the answer yet.
Here's DJ Moore on a nice throw from Fields for a first down, and Moore gets 10. It's still the situation for Fields with these final 6 games, including tonight. Backpedaling, and that pass is broken up. Good play made by Byron Murphy in front of DJ Moore.
But they've been sitting on the chains every time they've gotten into those situations.
55-yard try by Santos. He drills it. Yannick Ngakoue just limped off the field for the Bears. This one is intercepted by Chicago. And Kyler Gordon. Justin Jones was bobbling it, and Gordon came away with it. 3rd down and 4. Fields backpedaling, and he's got Mooney for a first down. Darnell Mooney. Fields pulls out. Sheldon Day is there. Metellus knocked it out. And that is a huge takeaway for this Vikings defense. And last time the Vikings had it, this one aired out. It's Addison all alone, but out of bounds.
Opportunities very often, and you just cannot afford to miss them.
Here's Addison over the middle, and that pass is complete. That's the call, even though Brisker says that ball was trapped. A win tonight. The Vikings are a game and a half back. Dobbs protected. Hawkinson inside the 20.
They're going to put a drive together and put themselves back in the game.
Gordon went back to the sideline. Brisker's over there too. End zone. Hawkinson. Touchdown. Salvage this game. Herbert. First down. 2 good carries. He gets 3 here. Fields steps through. Will try to get it with his legs. Ball's out. Another Fields turnover.
Down the field. See if you can pick up enough yards to maybe get a 3-point attempt.
Here is a dangerous throw, and they
lost yardage.
Fields lets it go. DJ Moore has it down inside the 15. And the biggest throw of the night at the biggest time for Justin Fields. Play clock at 4. Good snap, good hold, good kick. Bears are back on top after that 38-yard return. Everybody back except for TJ Edwards. And underneath, here we go. Osborne makes the initial catch. And that ball's out. Madison laterals. Osborne back in control. Dobbs has got it. This looks like a forward pass, and an illegal forward pass at that, but we're going to keep playing.
Yeah, this is entertaining. It's not going to count, but heck, keep it rolling.
And with the Benny Hill music playing in the background, this game is over, thankfully.
In a game that set the game back, what, about 20, 15 years?
What you just saw, that destroys the word.
Oh, my goodness.
It is like, it's impossible. Two teams could not play this bad. Okay? It's impossible. And they just destroyed the word impossible.
NASA wants their money back. The MVP,
my God.
Oh, my goodness. Troy Aikman said it best right at the very end. He said, well, somehow, some way, this checks a lot of boxes, OB. First win against a winning team for Eberflus. First win against the division. It could not have been uglier. But at the end of the day, 4 field goals brings home a victory. And you just got to give Justin Fields a lot of credit after the 2 fumbles in the fourth quarter. I mean, he had GOAT written all over him, and somehow, some way, he hung around long enough to make one big throw to his best player, and it gets us a victory. Congratulations to the Bears.
I can't be as wonderful and as positive as you did, because I don't know what the hell you were watching. But I'll tell you what, oh my God, how pathetic. We can't even, team can score a touchdown? It is beyond belief. A team wins a game in the year 2023 with 3/4 of the season basically gone and wins a game without scoring a touchdown?
Yeah, there you go. Hey, it was a preseason game, and it counts,
folks.
I think I heard a stat. I don't know if you guys heard it before you came down to the studio, but teams that didn't score a touchdown were 0-28 before this game, or over the last 28, I guess.
Well, they weren't playing Joshua Dobbs,
who gifted four interceptions.
4 interceptions, folks. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. And credit the Bears defense. Even despite Justin Fields fumbling twice in the fourth quarter, the defense held on and kept us in the game. And, good things happen.
312-981-7200 is our phone number. We have plenty of time to chat with you. We're going to be on the air till 12:30 this morning. So 312-981-7200. There's a lot to unpack about this one. I mean, yeah, it was a win. But OB, as you pointed out, there's a lot to kind of dissect from the other side of the coin as well.
My God, Andy, this Chicago Bear team, the ones that we've had here under these last 2 head coaches, I tell you what, folks, I have no concept, absolutely no idea how a team can go from last year to this year and not improve, and all you do is basically lose games. You find new ways from week to week to lose games, and this coaching staff, and I take issue with what Eberflus said earlier at halftime in this game. He said, was it a lot of adversity?
Yeah.
They've gone through a lot of adversity. Yeah, one of them, buddy boy, is you and your staff. We win a football game in the last seconds without scoring a touchdown. 3/4 through a year of football, and we can't even score a touchdown against a 6-5 team. You got to be kidding me, Danny.
4-8 is all I know, and again, you just you shake your head. Just like Detroit did not deserve to win last week, well, Minnesota looked like they were going to win this game, and they didn't deserve it. From the opening kickoff, we were more physical. We played a better brand of football. Yeah, we made a lot of mistakes. We didn't score a touchdown, but the way it's set up, OB, we had more points at the final gun than they did. And that's
right.
all that matters. And
That's exactly correct.
And
Dan.
again,
yes,
and,
absolutely.
And this wasn't some, Carolina team that was 1-9 or whatever. This was a 6-5 football team that had every belief that they were going to beat us and be right in the middle of the playoff picture. Now they're on the outside looking in.
And there were some numbers that I was going to go through tonight, courtesy of Kevin Fishman of The Athletic, about the Bears and how pathetic they are when they were trailing in a game by one score and their final possession. This was only the second time they've gotten into the red zone and the very first time that they've scored a point under Matt Eberflus in those situations. But, hey, they got it done somehow, some way, and it's
what
a 12-10 win.
What were the results of the other times? How many times? Was it 12 times?
It was 12 other times. They had 12 times they had a shot at it. They had 5 interceptions, 4 lost fumbles, 3 turnovers on downs. So they had to get into field goal range, and they couldn't do it 6 times. And once they did, one time they had their last snap in the red zone, previous to tonight.
As you said, OB, it's a game that sets the NFL back years and years.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
This game, folks, I really don't know where to go with it. You like to try to be positive about the Bears because we finally won a game. And we finally beat a team, basically, that had a winning record. They were 6-5, Minnesota. And finally we beat somebody in our own division. And what now? Basically, almost two years.
2 years, almost to the date.
Almost to the date, folks. We could beat anybody in our division. And here we go. We win a game, and you people saw it tonight. And we win a game, 4 quarters, against a 6-5 team, okay? They're not 8-2, okay, or 10-1, whatever have you, okay? My God. And you can't not score a touchdown again with what some people think is a franchise quarterback.
We didn't need to.
A franchise this, a franchise that. This is, I got words, but I can't use them on the air.
Please don't.
You got to be kidding me, folks. Oh, my God, Danny.
Well, the Bears get the win, 12-10, the final. 312-981-7200 is our phone number. We'll take a timeout. We're going to get to your phone calls. We've got plenty of time, so use that phone wisely, 312-981-7200. Hampton will be sponsored by your local Chevy dealers at ChevyDriveChicago.com.
Bears win!
Chicago's WGN.
1:06 left. 1-point game. Fields lets it go. DJ Moore has it down inside the 15. And the biggest throw of the night at the biggest time for Justin Fields. 36 yards to set up Chicago. Play clock at 4. Good snap, good hold, good kick. Bears are back on top with 10 seconds to go.
Courtesy of ESPN as the Bears get the win. You heard that pass from Justin Fields to DJ Moore, covered 36 yards. That's our game-changing moment. It is sponsored by the Muller family of dealerships in Hoffman Estates, Gurnee, Highland Park, and Maryville. That was the longest play from scrimmage by either team, and it came late in the fourth quarter.
And absolutely, and it's the first time, over 30 yards. All day long, you could have been going downfield on this team all day long, and we never did it. You got Mooney, you got Moore, you got Komet. There are so many post patterns and different patterns that you could have ran tonight, and we never went anywhere. We never went anywhere. And we're just through the grace of the Chicago football gods, let's call it, we finally win a game, and we finally beat somebody in our division, and we finally win a game basically in like 2 years.
Hampton will be sponsored by your local Chevy dealers, ChevyDriveChicago.com. Put a Chevy Silverado in your toolbox. It's time to head to the phones. 312-981-7200. Leading us off is Mark in Broadview. You're up with Hampton OB. Go ahead, Mark.
Hey, guys. I just want to talk about, Pittsburgh had got rid of they fired their offensive coordinator. Okay, I want to talk about Getsy. And we got a guy, we can't even score a touchdown in 4 quarters. And he had a game where they only had like 1 yard of offense, and he still has a job. I can't believe it. And we're supposed to take the North.
Mark?
The only thing we're going to take is the North Pole.
Right. I agree with you.
Thanks, Mark.
We were sitting there. I was talking to Dan and Andy, and we're looking at the game, and I don't know, it was like, I think late in the third quarter, Andy, something like that. Mm-hmm. And I said, I don't think, have we thrown a ball over 20 or 30 yards to anybody, to one of our three top receivers? We never went downfield, folks. We never tested the waters. How could you not run a fly pattern, a deep post pattern, crossing ends? How is it possible in almost 4 quarters of football, you don't even test the waters? You got to be kidding me. And and a touchdown? Come on.
Well, the way the game played out, Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator of Minnesota, early in this game, he was relentless, blitzing. And, Justin Fields, he was getting the ball out, but it was all the horizontal stuff that you love, OB, the speed screens. And some were good, some were bad. At the end of the day, in the fourth quarter.
I hate those speed screens.
I know.
Don't you dare go there and mention my name.
But late in the game, Brian Flores, inexplicably, he backed off. He went 3-man line the first 3 plays. Then he went with the conventional 4-man rush, and our offensive line, which had been blocking dummies for 3 quarters, actually started manning up a little bit, and they gave Justin time on that one pass down the field to DJ Moore.
Why he didn't come with 5? Why he didn't blitz one, either the middle linebacker or a safety blitz on that last play? Why he didn't do it, I have absolutely no idea. If I was the owner of that team, I would come in, Vikings, and I would say, guess what, pal? That door is unlocked. Keep walking.
Well, he thought that he had cowered, Getsy enough to where he would not be going downfield, and he was trying to keep everybody in position to play those quick, outs to the speed screen.
How did these guys
rally to the ball? And it blew up in his face.
You know what?
To the Bears' credit.
To our listeners, and even to anybody, how is it, folks, that this coaching staff, there's 24 on this team. There was 26, okay? There was 26, and 2 got fired for whatever. And so we have 24 coaches and a head coach. Okay, 25 people. How is it that in a game, and it's not only this game, it's other games, how is it that we can't have a pattern to go downfield in a passing game? How is that possible? How is that absolutely possible that you cannot draw up a play over 20 yards, 25, over 30 yards in 4 quarters of football? How is it possible?
I think Getsy left one of his play sheets back at the hotel.
Well, I think it was fear. And, that's what it was. It was just all about fear, not wanting to, keep him in the pocket and let him get mauled. So that was the game plan. And guess what? It found a way to win.
312-981-7200 out to Michigan City. We say to John. John, you're up with Hampton OB. Go ahead.
Oh, God, thank you. Thank you, OB and Danimo. I've been wanting to call you guys for a long time, but what I don't understand tonight was that I'm a Bears fan. I'm 72 years old, and I've been a Bears fan all my life. But Minnesota gave this game to the Bears. I do not understand why in the early part of the third quarter, they go for it on 4th and 7 and 1 possession, then another time on 4th and 3, where they can give the Bears super terrific field position against a team that only was able to score 3 points before the half when they got 2 turnovers. And then late in the first half, Minnesota ties the game. And I just watched this game and I'm thinking, I couldn't believe there's a coach in the NFL that is worse than Eberflus. He's horrible.
Hey, but John, I'll tell you exactly why they felt obliged to go on fourth down. No respect.
There you go. That is the answer.
That's the answer. They were not scared of what they were seeing from the Bears offense. And they it doesn't matter. We'll stop them anyway. So if we don't, convert, we're going to get the ball back anyway. That's the way they were thinking, but it kind of blew up on them later in the game when the Bears, were able to, make a play on fourth down.
Let's go back out to the phones. Bob in Austin, Texas. Bob, we got about a minute for your comment here, so go right ahead.
Yeah, good evening. Thanks for taking my call. I was looking at some of the stats of the year to date, which confirms what we've been observing game after game for the past year and a half with the coaching staff. And on offense, real quick, the Bears are at the bottom of the league in net passing yards per game, 184 per game. And they're also on the bottom of the league in pass attempts per game. And they're also at the bottom of the league in being sacked. But what's really disturbing is that, the Bears don't throw the ball as much as the average football team, but Fields is leading the league in interceptions. So you're throwing the ball less than other teams, but you're having higher amount of interceptions. That indicates really bad quarterback play and bad decision making. So, what we see is Getsy, he just continues to run the same game, call the same plays week after week, and they never make any adjustments or change to address these chronic issues that they have with their passing offense. It's really, really frustrating.
Bob,
thank you.
You were spot on. You're spot on. And that started from game one. Game one. We weren't prepared to win. And it's gone from game to game. And what you see from game to game is how pathetic this coaching staff is. If you're a true fan of football and you have some idea of offense and defense and what capabilities and whatever have you. But I'll tell you what, this coaching staff, they're probably all nice guys, wonderful guys, but I'll tell you what, there is no way that they can bring this coaching staff back. None. No way. We can't score touchdowns. We can't do anything. We won a football game because of a field goal kicker. And the luck of the draw when it came to the bounce of the ball.
312-981-7200 is our number. If you're on hold, please stay there. If you are sitting at home and want to talk, give us a call. 312-981-7200, the number.
When we come back, Andy, I want to talk about when that Eberflus challenged.
You got it. We'll do that. 12-10, the Bears beat the Minnesota Vikings. Hampton will be sponsored by your local Chevy dealer, ChevyDriveChicago.com.
Tomorrow at 10.
Everybody up and coming after Fields. He's got Komet, and Komet's got the first down. Inside the 20 and now inside the 15.
Courtesy of ESPN, Hampton will be sponsored by your local Chevy dealer, ChevyDriveChicago.com. Bears win 12-10. And again, they did not score a touchdown in, but they have finally won a game inside the division. First time in the last 13 games. They're now 1-12 in their last 13 against the division. All right, time now for the Curveball Whiskey Bonehead Play of the Game. It is sponsored by Curveball, the original barbecue whiskey. Join the Bonehead Nation today at curveballwhiskey.com. It's time to sip it, flip it, or
smooth it.
Thank you very much.
There you go. Over the rocks.
Exactly right.
All right, my bonehead play of the game is not by a Bear player, thankfully. It was by the opponent quarterback, Joshua Dobbs. It wasn't his first interception or his second or his third or fourth. It was later in the game, in the fourth quarter. Kyler Gordon had Madison on a deep double move, and he fell down, and all Dobbs had to do is hit him with the ball, and he throws it out of bounds. That somehow was my bonehead play of the game. All you got to do is just throw it anywhere, and he threw it out of bounds.
Well, mine is right on our head coach, okay? So one of his assistant coaches, genius coaches, that is up in the booth upstairs, on top of the stadium. So he called down the Eberflus, and told him, and that was on
The challenge flag.
the challenge.
Yeah.
The challenge.
Which at the time was the longest completion of the night.
You're right. And what we saw, Andy saw it, Dan and I saw it. He went on that. His hand was underneath the ball. We're on the 18th floor down here in Chicago watching it, and we seen his left hand was under the ball when it came and hit on the ground. Okay? So they called him down. They throw out the challenge. He loses the challenge, and lucky it didn't come to bite him in the backside at the end of the game. Why? Because they lose the timeout.
Yeah, and it almost came into play there toward the end.
Absolutely.
Exactly right. Again, those are the Bonehead plays of the game, sponsored by Curveball, the original barbecue whiskey. Join the Bonehead Nation today at curveballwhiskey.com. And OB, we were talking during the break about you guys both playing in games where there was no touchdowns. I went back and looked it up. OB, the week 14 of the 1962 season,
Detroit Lions.
you guys shut out the Lions 3-0.
3-0, folks. And I remember that, Andy and Dan, and that was the toughest game I ever played in my entire life. We went down to the nub to the last second, and it was a fist fight the entire 4 quarters. 3-0, we won a football game. And you talk about a cold day and a hard day. And Detroit had a pretty good football team, too, by the way.
And OB wanted to fire the offensive coordinator on both teams afterwards.
You had a game too, didn't you?
6-3 against the Packers. We won 79 here in Chicago.
All right.
It happens.
It does. 12-10. The Bears get the win over the Vikings tonight. 312-981-7200. That's our phone number.
And for this team, okay, right now, and again, we got, this was like with 6 games left to go tonight, and we won a football game, and we didn't score a touchdown. We didn't score a touchdown. I mean, I don't know. Did we even come close to scoring a touchdown, Danny? I mean, folks.
Not really.
No.
Down at the very end, we didn't need to. We were down in the red zone finally.
These coaches are being paid. Our head coach is making millions. So is Getsy. And hundreds of thousands these coaches are making. And you mean to tell me we're playing a team that's won 6 and lost 5 games, and we go up there, we win a game by scoring 12 points without scoring a touchdown, and this is the National Football League? My God.
Hey, real quick.
Come on.
Bob, you called and you said Justin Fields is leading the league in interceptions. No. The leader is Josh Allen and Sam Howell of Washington. They got 12. Justin is only 6 interceptions, right. 12 touchdowns.
All right, to get that set, 312-981-7200 to Ashton in Chicago. You're up with Hampton OB. Go ahead, Ashton.
Hey, guys. First-time caller, still a high school guy. I think my first recollection of being a Bears fan was that 2018 Bears team with the double doink. I think that a highlight of that team was Eddie Jackson. We look at Eddie now. He is just blowing coverage after coverage. Even today, T.J. Hawkinson over the middle for the touchdown. I just want to ask you guys, what do you guys think Eddie's future with the team is going to look like?
There is none.
Blowing every coverage.
There is none.
Ashton, thanks.
And I got to tell you, Elijah Hicks, I think, is a better player, but they're paying Eddie $14 million. So guess what? They're going to play him. All that being said, I could break tape down with you game after game when he was back and somewhat so-called healthy. He doesn't hit nobody. He got ragdolled on that touchdown tonight. But play after play after play, as you said, he's blowing coverages. He's late to the cutoff spot. He's not a good player. And unfortunately, it's compounded by the fact he won't tackle nobody. He doesn't hit nobody. Sometimes he'll throw his shoulder in. Most of the time, he avoids contact. It's mind-blowing what he gets away with on the football field.
Ashton, I'll tell you what's a little bit more mind-blowing. Ashton, he makes, Dan mentioned, he makes $14 million. So there's 17 games. So what he's actually making, he's making just shy of $1 million a game. Just shy of $1 million a game. And the guy half the time takes scared to death pills.
312-981-7200 is the number. We've got a minute or so here before we have to hit our next break. Let's go out to Battle Creek, Michigan. Say hi to Vlad. Vlad, you're up with Hampton OB. Go ahead.
Hey, fellas, how you doing today? I want to talk to you guys about the penalties, man. Like, I think we had too many penalties this game. The game after that, and the game, a couple weeks ago against the Panthers is just enough's enough, man. What can we do to execute on these penalties, man? Every time we got a turnover for these interceptions, we didn't execute down the field. What the hell is going on? Thank you guys. You guys have a good one.
You know what? You know who that's a reflection of? There's only one. That's a reflection on coaching. That's your answer.
Amen.
There is no other answer. It's a reflection on the coaching. Period.
Good call, Vlad the Impaler. Let me tell you something. You know the rules. I know the rules. Everybody knows the rules. It's about discipline. They don't care. They don't care enough. And you know what? At some point, it'll come back and it'll get you. That's why, big reason why we're 4-8. And by the way, there was one sequence in the second quarter, we had 4 penalties in a row, 4 consecutive plays with penalties. We only had 2 of them accepted, but we were called 4 plays in a row where we were at fault in a penalty.
And that was right after Jalen Johnson's first pick.
That's exactly right. And again, what happened? Well, we had to wind up punting it because we're too stupid to play the game in the rule structure.
The reality of this is, and folks, Dan and I and Andy, we talk here, often here, many, many times. Folks, you have no idea how poorly this team is coached. From the head coach and on down. All of us, I don't even know who these people are, where he found these people. This team is a very, very poorly coached team. And why do I say that? Just go back and look at game after game after game the last year and 3 quarters. This is a staff that is clueless in Chicago. And this isn't an I think either.
312-981-7200. If you're on hold, please stay there. We'll get to your phone calls. I promise.
Hang tight, folks.
Bears win at 12-10 over the Minnesota Vikings. Hampton will be sponsored by your local Chevy dealers at ChevyDriveChicago.com. Put a Chevy Silverado in your toolbox. Hey, he is back. Longtime sponsor, nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich is back. For all your auto, your home, your business needs, contact Vuk at JeffVuk.com. And remember, Nationwide is on your side.
Chevy dealers, Dan Hampton's defensive player of the game.
Dobbs protected and picked by Jalen Johnson. Johnson on the return will take it down inside the 40. And a takeaway for the Chicago defense.
Courtesy of ESPN. And, of course, Dan Hampton's defensive player of the game, sponsored by your local Chevy dealers and the Chevy Silverado, official truck partner of the Chicago Bears. Some of the bright spots, Jalen Johnson with a couple.
A lot of good stuff in the defensive secondary, the entire defense. They really played a real physical, tough game tonight. But Jalen Johnson, clear winner here. He had a beautiful play for his 3rd interception of the year. Falling off of a soft coverage when the receiver returned inside, he goes back and makes a beautiful pick. Then he had a pass defense where the ball was caromed up, and I think Brisker got that interception due to his great play on the receiver. Also made 3 or 4 great tackles. So, Jalen Johnson, hey, you are the man tonight.
12-10, Bears beat the Minnesota Vikings to snap that ugly 12-game in-division losing streak. First win inside the NFC North for Matt Eberflus. We'll hear from the head coach a little bit later on, but we want to hear from you. 312-981-7200. Back to the phones. In Palatine, we say hi to Joe. Joe, you're up with Hampton OB. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, how would you guys feel if Kirk Cousins was playing tonight?
Be a lot different, wouldn't it? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think this game would be a little bit different if that game was going on.
Absolutely. And you know what? But that's the breaks. A lot of times quarterbacks get hurt. Then you got to live with the second guy. And remember, this is only the 4th game that the Pasternaut played for Minnesota, and he was 2-1, and he had beaten some pretty good teams. So, it wasn't a completely harmless offense. They kind of made a lot of mistakes, and it's easily Dobbs' worst night he's ever had as a quarterback. And a lot of that, the Bears put him in those positions.
They almost overcame 4 interceptions, and we're out for that field goal at the end.
Yeah, he had never had 3 in a game, let alone 4.
What, from last year to this year, Andy? Correct me if I'm wrong here. I think he's been with, 7 teams?
5 teams since the beginning of last year, I want to say.
Well, 7 total.
7 total,
5 teams.
yeah.
Yeah, beginning of last year, Joe, so...
He's been around 5 years. I remember watching him. I think it was with Cleveland.
Yeah.
He won a game with Cleveland last year. I mean, it's crazy. Easily the worst he's played. But again, credit the defense. Eberflus, they had a good plan, and they exposed it.
312-981-7200 out to Downers Grove. We say hi to Danny. Danny, you're up with Hampton OB. Go ahead, bud.
Yeah. Hey, Hamp, OB.
Hey, Danny.
Love you guys. Joe. My question is, I called in there a couple weeks ago. We talked about how come we can't do that push and this and that. And OB, you said, hey, it's the offensive line. The offensive line can't handle it, But how come we can't score 6 points instead of, just kicking field goals every time? And I'm just curious. Ask the question, how come we can't just score a touchdown, for crying out loud?
Because we have a guy, his last name is Getsy. He's our offensive coordinator, and the head coach is basically a defensive guy, and I will go no further than that, okay? If Getsy's an offensive coordinator, I'm an Olympic high diving champ. This guy is an absolute joke as an offensive coordinator. And our head coach, he has not had this team ready. Yes, last year, he never got this team ready. And that's both sides of offense and defense. The coaches weren't ready. They didn't get the team ready from day one last year. And from day one, you'd think they learned going into this year, and they haven't learned. And they still haven't learned, Danny, because with 6 games to go, including this game, we win a game without scoring a touchdown. And we're going to jump around and be happy. And, wow, we won a game. We beat a 6-5 team.
The image of you as an Olympic high diver is not one I'm going to be able to get out of my mind anytime soon. So thanks for that. I appreciate it. 312-981.
Triple Lindy.
Yeah, do the triple Lindy. Install the extra kickboard there, whatever. 312-981-7200 is the number. Let's go to Hawthorne Woods and say hi to Mike. Mike, you're up with Hampton OB. Go ahead.
Hey, Opie, this is Mike from Hawthorne Woods. I grew up in Hoffman Estates, and I'm wondering do you ever remember a family by the name of the Madden family? They lived right by the grade school there in Parcel A in Hoffman Estates.
Madden. I knew a Madsen family. Madden? It sure wasn't Madsen?
That was it. Somewhere, Madsen is probably the correct one, Madsen. They lived right on the street by the grade school there in Parcel A. This is back in the 60s when I was back in high school.
Okay.
Do you remember those people?
Vaguely, I remember them, and I think there was another group, the Wheatley family.
Could they score a touchdown?
No, but I want to pick up on OB's comment about the coaches. And the Bears have been snake bit in terms of getting the best coaches ever since Mike McCaskey blew the Dave McGinnis hire. No good coach wants to come here and coach. That's why we can't get decent coaches.
Wow,
they did
Mike,
that, they did that to McGinnis, and they also did it to Bruce Arians before they hired Trestman. Nobody even wants to come here and interview that's any good. That's why we get stuck with these losers.
Mike, what a great call. He's spot on, Danny.
I think thank you very much for your call, sir. I think it's a combination of a lot of different things. Let's be real. Who wants to come here and coach when you spent the world in draft picks for a guy named Mitchell Trubisky, and you know that he can't play? You want to come here? Or you're going to try somewhere else? It's about every coach has 2, maybe 3 years to win. And you can be a great guy and be a genius, but if you don't win, 3 years, you're gone. So they look at the talent pool and who is in charge of improving the talent pool. And a lot of times, if you got a bunch of bad players and it's a very untalented team, well, those same people are the ones you're going to be trying to find good players with. And they didn't do it the first time. You think they're going to all of a sudden wave a magic wand and they're going to figure it out? It's a combination of a lot of different things.
Dan, here's the thing. Okay,
but I don't think it's the family's nothing to do with it.
Right. He's the offensive coordinator, all right? He's been hired by Eberflus, the head coach, okay? Now, this is 2 years with this guy. And you mean to tell me, and again, with 6 games to go, and one time, and it was a miracle throw, we throw the ball over 20 yards, 25 yards in a game, 4-quarter game, and we never once attacked downfield with DJ Moore and Darnell Mooney? Not one time against a 6-5 team do we even try to go down and try to score a touchdown? Somebody tell me.
Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't until very, very, very late, and it was a big play, but that was the only play. So
that's the only play they had.
You're right.
There was nowhere else to go, Andy.
You're right. Hampton OB, sponsored by your local Chevy dealer, ChevyDriveChicago.com. Put a Chevy Silverado in your toolbox. If you're on hold there, that is. Please stay there. We will get to you after the news. 981-7200, the area code 312. Thank you to Rosebud Restaurants for that great game day meal they provided for us today. The chicken was outstanding. A little potato, a little peas in there. We had some pasta. We had some meatballs. Oh, it was so good. The Chicago Staples serving up Central recipes at each of their 8 locations. Experience the iconic Rosebud on Taylor Street. Stop by Rosetta Italiana The Loop, Rosebud on Rush, or warm up after a game at Rosebud on Randolph.
Adobe Analytics expects consumers to spend more than $12 billion today, making it the biggest online shopping day of all time. WGN Sports Time, 11:05. The Bears won at Minnesota, 12-10. In college basketball, Northwestern beat Northern Illinois, 89-67. The Blackhawks host Seattle tomorrow. The pregame with Joe Brand at 7. The face-off at 7:30 with John Weideman and Troy Murray on 720 WGN and WGNradio.com.
Temperatures drop into the teens tonight with wind chills in the single digits. It'll be mostly clear, maybe some flurries early and especially across portions of northwest Indiana. Tuesday, we're dry, mostly sunny, 26 the high temperature. That'll be our coldest daytime high since last winter. Then into Wednesday, we're up to about 39 degrees. We'll see milder conditions with mostly cloudy skies. And then for Thursday, we're up to about 45 degrees with a 40% chance for rain. I'm WGN meteorologist Demetrius Ivory.
Well, right now, mostly cloudy skies for most of us. It's 18 degrees at O'Hare and 19 at Midway. That feels like, though, 5 degrees. Far down south near Kankakee and Morris, we got some flurries reported there.
Yannick Ngakoue just limped off the field for the Bears. This one is intercepted by Chicago. And Kyler Gordon. Vikings showing that they're going to go for it. Play clock. They're going to snap it. Here's Hawkinson, catch made, tackle made. He didn't get it. Kyler Gordon with the strong tackle, and the Bears will take over on that.
Courtesy of ESPN, Hampton OB, sponsored by your local Chevy dealer, ChevyDriveChicago.com. Put a Chevy Silverado in your toolbox. Kyler Gordon, a couple of big defensive plays, and the Bears 12-10 win.
This is for the whatever it's worth column. Last week we played against the Lions, and we only scored 2 touchdowns. Okay? We lost that game. Tonight, we had the ball approximately 12 more minutes than the Vikings. Approximately 12 more minutes, and we don't score a touchdown, and we won a football game.
Pretty amazing. By the way, we have a gift card winner tonight of $200, and if the Bears win, you win, courtesy of Second City Prime Steak and Seafood. Barbara Svitek, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. As you know who you are. You call it anyway. $200 is in your pocket. You can order today at secondcityprime.com.
Wow,
Congratulations. So we'll roll it over to back to $100 after the bye week when we rejoin you and the Bears take on the Detroit Lions one more time. 312-981-7200. Back to the phones. And Steve, you're up with Hampton OB. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, whenever I see the other team play against the Bears, they always run these quick slants, and that's how they get their number one wide receiver open. And it doesn't look like it's a like a call play. It's like a check-to play when they see what the defender is doing, what the quarterback is doing, and they hit them with that quick slant. And it's good for maybe 5 yards, and at least you're going forward instead of with the screen behind the line. How come the Bears I never see the Bears run those quick slants like that. And instead of keeping DJ Moore down, just get quick slant and get them open.
Steve, you're echoing Dan Hampton. He's been saying that all year. Where's the slants?
Steve, great call. We're going to reward you for that excellent call, a $50 gift card to our friends at Second City Prime Steak and Seafood. So hang on the line there. We'll get your info, and we'll get that gift card out to you.
And a combination of a couple of things. Number one, the receivers know they're going to get a headache going across the middle. Maybe they don't want to do it. I don't know. But, I mean, to me, you're giving away a very valuable offensive weapon.
All right, up next is Sean in LaGrange. Sean, you're up with Hampton OB. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that totally the defense won this ball game, obviously. And like this other caller said, a 3rd and long, and he's throwing it behind the line of scrimmage. I don't get that. He's nowhere. Quarterback like Roger Staubach. I mean, the guy he needs to get the ball downfield, and he's not accomplishing that. And obviously, you score no touchdowns, and so definitely the defense won this ball game with the Tyler.
I agree, Sean.
The interceptions and stuff like that.
Yep.
Where are we going with this plan? Where are we going?
We're going nowhere, Sean. We're going absolutely nowhere. And I agree with
why
you.
Why are you throwing the ball behind the line of scrimmage when we're 3rd and long? I don't get that.
Yep, we've been talking about that, and I don't think any of us get it either. But, Sean, thanks for the call. We appreciate it.
And it's all based on fear. They're scared to throw the ball down the field. They don't trust Justin Fields to make the accurate throws on a quick slant or a quick post or even, some of the outs. They think that, we're going to throw it, the speed screen, and our receivers are going to make 3 people miss. It doesn't work.
Dan, you've got to be correct. You know why you got to be correct? How the hell can we play 4 quarters of football? We won a football game tonight, and without scoring a touchdown, and we score 4 field goals. God, Jesus.
It's crazy.
Come on.
312-981-7200. Let's go back to the phones in Naperville and say hi to Tim. Tim, you're up with Hampton OB. Go ahead. Hello, Tim.
Hi. I believe that the Bears management is going to keep this coaching staff. They don't listen to you and Dan. You tell it how it is. Other stations are probably making this a big deal that the Bears won because they came back. I blame that win for the Bears on the Minnesota coach that did that stupid 4th and 7 early in the game.
All right, Tim, thanks for the call. We appreciate it.
He's right.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to argue that.
Well, folks, it's kind of simple. The other stations, the 2 sports stations, one carries the Bears. They got to be all buddy-buddy, kissy-kissy. And the other one has a number of players on the, and player spots during the week. And they got to be, buddy-buddy, kissy-kissy. And, as Ed Obradovich has said all season, we're going nowhere unless we start playing big boy offense.
All right, let's go out to Eau Claire.
Defense now.
Let's go out to Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and welcome in Dave. Dave, you're up with Hampton OB. Go ahead.
Hi, guys. Boy, the other caller just beat me to the punch. I really think that they're going to retain these people next year as coaches. I don't want to make your night sick, guys. I just saw the locker room speech of Eberflus. ESPN had it on. And right next to Eberflus is your best buddy, Mr. Poles, clapping and giving that old, hey, that a boy, good speech. And right next to him is the new president, Mr. Warren. And he's there with the orange tie and the blue suit, giving her heck to. I really think, I hate to say it, that if they win the next 2 out of 5, I predict Atlanta, and I probably predict Arizona, both at home. The other 3, no. I don't think they'll beat Detroit or Cleveland or Green Bay. I really think that they're going to keep these guys. I hate to say it, guys. Look at the defense now. He's coming along good with that defense. That town's getting fired up, and the president and the general manager in there. Guys, I give me your opinion. I would hope not. I hope this isn't just a false thing of this team. But, Dan, you're right with the other stations. Sure, they are ex-players. They aren't going to give you the real truth there. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Dave.
Hope they don't keep these guys. Bye, guys.
Have a good night.
Thanks so much.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you're Kevin Warren and you're Ryan Poles, you got to be in the locker room, right?
You make a great case. If we go 6-11, oh yeah, we're building, we're getting better, and the arrow is pointed up, and we're going to see the next 5 weeks what happens, or 6 weeks. We got a bye week coming
Dave, let me tell you something.
I think you're right, though.
Dave, well, here's what I see. Okay, I don't think you have to be a football genius in any stretch of anybody's imagination to see what the hell has been going on here the last 5 years with these two head coaches and these two general managers that we've had. Although I'll still give Poles a little more time. But I'll tell you what, when you can't score a touchdown in 4 quarters against a 6-5 team, when last year you had the worst record in the history of the Chicago Bears, and you now, a year and 3 quarters gone by, and you just won your 4th game without scoring a touchdown, and you think we don't have a problem with coaching? You think we don't have a problem with coaching? Whose fault is it? Who? The coaches. They're taught to get the point across about winning football, not how you lose, how you win. That's their job. And this outfit that we have, they stink.
312-981-7200, the phone number. Hampton OB is sponsored by your local Chevy dealers at ChevyDriveChicago.com. If you're there on hold, please stay there. We will get to you after the timeout. You can take your money and mileage farther with Mariano's. Save up to $2 per gallon when you redeem up to 2,000 fuel points per fill at Mariano's fuel centers and participating BP and Amoco stations. Earn fuel points to fill up your car when you shop Mariano's for groceries, gift cards, and fill prescriptions. This double savings fuel points deal is connected to your Mariano's rewards card and is taking place for a limited time. Get topped off on all the details when you visit Marianos.com/fuel. Take your money and mileage farther when you shop Mariano's. Use up to 2,000 fuel points per fill. Save up to $2 per gallon at Mariano's fuel centers and participating BP and Amoco stations.
Have a happy holiday, Chicago's very own WGN.
See website for details.
Cross Blue Shield of Illinois.
Hot route, hot route.
Who brought it today? Looking at which Bear played tough, played hard.
It doesn't come right out. Fields in trouble, shows off what he can do with his legs, and finds Johnson for the first down. 3 third-down conversions on this first possession. Fields able to get away, and now finds Herbert. Boy, Justin Fields right now is putting together some kind of drive. He's showing off the legs, throwing on the run, and that was a fantastic play for 13.
Highlights courtesy of ESPN. Time now for Who Brought It Today. Sponsored by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, the card to bring through it all. And Justin Fields did enough to get his team a win here tonight, 12-10.
Hey, he put together a game-winning drive, the big strike for 31 yards to DJ Moore in the closing seconds of the game, setting up the game-winning field goal. He was 27 of 37, net 199 for a 5-yard per attempt average. Quarterback rating 87.3. He also ran 12 times for 59 yards to lead the team.
A couple of fumbles that did not prove to be detrimental at that point.
I got to tell you, those 2 fumbles, I mean, they're inexcusable. And all you can say is, if we would have lost this game, you could say, hey, he's a loser. Yeah. But somehow, some way, we were able to stay in it and find a way to win.
I'll tell you who he saved. He saved Getsy, Dan.
Yep.
That's what our quarterback did. He saved Getsy. You think Getsy, if we're blowing on him now, if they didn't win this football game, it'd have been times 2.
And maybe Matt Eberflus, too.
Absolutely. Folks, just go back, like just what we're talking about here. We're on Minnesota's 21-yard line. It's a 7:49 to go. It's in the third quarter. It's like 3rd down and 2. What play? We run pretty good. Our quarterback, he's running good. Okay. We've got Khalil Herbert, one hell of a runner. We've got people that can get yardage. All right. And we've been doing pretty good the whole game. What do you think Getsy calls? Getsy, now we're on the opponent's 21-yard line. And it's 3rd and 2. You know what play he called, folks? that slip screen or bubble screen to DJ Moore, which, you know how many yards it gained? None. And why was it a bad call? Because he went horizontal. We're 21 yards from the end zone. Why didn't he go with play action, throw it into the end zone to Cole Kmet, to Moore, or to Mooney? Why? Why did you not go vertical and try to score a touchdown? You try on 3rd and 2, you throw a horizontal slip screen that went absolutely nowhere. That is another dumb, stupid call by you, Getsy. Lucky we won this football game.
312-981-7200 to Milwaukee. And Mark, you're up with Hampton OB. Go ahead.
Hey, thanks a lot for taking my call. Both you guys, I want to tell you something. At 71 years of age, I'm old enough to, in fact, have seen both of you play in person, and what an honor it is to speak to both of you. OB, I wonder if you remember playing in any of the Midwest Shrine games in Milwaukee County Stadium in August, in preseason games.
Oh, yeah, always. And guess what? Vince Lombardi and George Hallis, they were fierce competitors on the field, but off the field they were great. And when we played that exhibition game, the Shriners game, every year up in Milwaukee was an exhibition game. We had to play the whole game. And so did they. Bart Starr, Paul Horning, Forrest Gregg, and we all went at each other an exhibition game for 4 quarters. Honest to God, I couldn't believe it, but that's what it was. Every year we'd go up and play them, and it was supposed to be an exhibition game, and some of the guys trying to make the team and all that, they never got in the game. Why? Because we had to be out there, because Hallis didn't want to lose to Lombardi, and Lombardi didn't want to lose to Hallis, and we had to pay the price.
You said exactly what I thought you would say. The reason I'm calling tonight is here's where I think Minnesota gave that game away to the Bears. At the very end, after the second Justin Fields fumble, I don't like the strategy where all Minnesota did at the end was run the ball up the gut, did nothing to try and win that game and put it away other than to get the Bears to use up their timeouts. I think what they should have done is gone for the juggler. Try to pick up a first down, even if you have to pass, and put that game away to see that the Bears never get the ball back in their possession and never have a chance to win, because what happened was they had a terrible punt, Minnesota, and the timeouts were irrelevant, and they came down the field and scored. And before I get off, I just want to say how much joy you two bring to people. You are fantastic. I never miss a broadcast. You are the best entertainment money cannot buy, and you are truly adored by me and other people here, too.
Mark,
God
thank you
bless
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark. I hope Mary Boyle was listening. Mary, are you out there? Are you listening to that? Money.
He said the money can't buy, remember. That's what he said. 312-981-7200. We're going to the bottom of the hour here before we get to the news. Let's try to sneak in a couple more here with Andre. You're up with Hampton OB. Go ahead, Andre.
Hey, guys. Hey, listen. Hamp OB. Love you both. You're both heroes. I just want to let you know I'm old school, Southside Chicago. I love you both.
Thank you.
Let me tell you something real quick. I, for the life of me, cannot stand this coaching staff. You take 2 kneels, 2 knee downs to kick a field goal. My mentality is on the road, you stick a stake in the vampire's heart on the road. I'm going to send all those fans home crying and booing their own team. That's me. Am I wrong?
No, sir, you're not. And the prior caller made the point that Minnesota was just trying to burn the clock, make us use their timeouts, and kind of curl up in a ball, and it blew up in their face. Same thing that happened to the Bears a week ago over in Detroit. Same exact thing.
All right, let's head out
trying to set on a lead.
Let's head out to Rolling Meadows and welcome in John. John, you're up with Hampton OB. Go ahead, John.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys. I'm just so tired of watching Fields fade back and panic. And it's like he can't even sit in the pocket. I like that Tyson kid. He sits in the pocket and he really watches. There was more receivers putting their hands up that were open today that Fields can't even, it's like he can't even see them. He telescopes everything, and it's just sick. It's just,
There's no question, early in the game, they were bringing the house and really, really pressuring him and running him ragged out of the pocket. Then later in the game, they backed off, and he had his eyes down looking at the rush, not the receivers. That's something you got to, if he wants to play in this league, if he wants to be a starter, he can't do that.
Hey, John, something has to be done here in the next 5 games with this quarterback, with this kid. You're either you're gonna go all out and do whatever you can, and if you're gonna keep him, then you gotta go all out and find the other 10 guys to make 11 guys and make it work. The people in Chicago are tired of losing. They're tired of losing. I don't care however way you lose. They're tired. They're tired of it. And this kid has 5 games. And Getsy has 5 games, and Eberflus has 5 games. The rest of those guys, I don't even know who they are, and who the hell cares. But I'll tell you what, I care about those people. That quarterback, our head coach and offensive coordinator, because that's how you win football games. And so far, the only thing that they've proven how we can lose football games just happens to be what the record was and is last year and this year. It's just a fact.
312-981-7200. More of your calls coming up. We'll take a break for the news here. Hampton OB is sponsored by your local Chevy dealers at ChevyDriveChicago.com.
It's Bob Surratt. WGN sounds great on the WGN app. Download it now and make us the first button on your digital dashboard. See how at WGNradio.com.
It's 19 degrees and cloudy at 11:30. Good evening. I'm James Sears.
You get the nightmares.
Lisa Dent.
I ate a sausage pizza with a sausage and I got a nightmare.
Almost every sausage pizza I've ever had has a sausage.
Weekdays 2 to 6 on WGN.
Analytics likes this call up to 6 yards. 4th down and 3. And this one up in the air and picked off by Edwards. Jalen Johnson in there again defensively. And another interception. 3rd by down.
Joe Buck, courtesy of ESPN. Bears defense coming up big here tonight in a 12-10 win by the Bears over the Minnesota Vikings. First win inside the division since November of 2021. And Matt Eberflus's first win in the NFC North.
And folks, we're taking a second here to talk a little bit about looking at Justin Fields and how his future and the viability of his future for the Chicago Bears may all fall. There was a great article, and I made some notes, and it essentially divided all the starting quarterbacks into different tiers. And it's pretty simple, but it starts with the guy on top, and that's Patrick Mahomes. Enough said. He is untouchable. Kansas City, whatever they got to pay him, they're happy. They're happy as a pig in a blanket. The second tier is a couple of quarterbacks that a lot of people believe can become that type of a championship quarterback. And that tier 2 would have Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Justin Herbert in it. They have signed big deals, and their teams are very, very happy with the trajectory these young quarterbacks are on.
I agree with that, big man.
Okay.
Those 3 guys that you just mentioned, even the first guy, Patrick Mahomes, and in the next 3, I agree with that plateau.
Okay, tier 3. The teams are very happy, but they're waiting. They're waiting. They think this tier will become champions very soon, and that would be Jalen Hurts with the Eagles and Lamar Jackson of the Baltimore Ravens. They're very happy. They've kind of locked them up, but they're still waiting. They're waiting for the return on the big money.
I agree with that assumption, though. I'll tell you,
okay.
It could very well be coming this year, Dan.
Okay. Now, the next one, they're waiting, but how long are they going to wait? And that group is led by Dak Prescott, Jared Goff, and Matt Stafford. Now, Matt Stafford won the Super Bowl 2 years ago, but he hasn't done much the last couple of years. But the point being is they've locked him up, but now they're starting to say, well, what have we got to show for it? Now, the next tier is the young quarterbacks, and this is where Justin Fields should be. This is where he should be in tier 5, where they believe they've got the guy and they're happy and they're going to sign them to the big money extension. And that is Trevor Lawrence of Jacksonville and Tua Tagovailoa of the Miami Dolphins. The next one is what I would call the bargain of a century. It's a perfect world. These young quarterbacks that are winners as a pup, and they're playing on rookie contracts so they can spend money on other positions, other places on the football team. They don't have to spend the 25, 30 million or whatever those guys at the top are getting. And that is C.J. Stroud and Brock Purdy of the San Francisco 49ers. Now, it gets more interesting the further you go down this tier. Okay, now tier 7. This is where teams are living with the quarterback, but they're looking for somebody else. And that is Seattle with Geno Smith and Baker Mayfield at Tampa Bay. They're looking hard to find the next one, but they're going to live with these two guys.
I disagree. I think Tampa Bay is going to stay with Baker Mayfield. The kid has played some pretty good football for him, Danny.
He has. Okay, the next tier, which is, oh my God, what the hell have we done? And that is Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, and Derek Carr. All three of these quarterbacks have signed for a fortune and yet are delivering nothing. And they're the guys making all the big money, and the teams are throwing their hands up saying, what have we done?
Then you can't trade any of those guys.
They're untradeable.
Yeah.
Now, tier 9 is a group of quarterbacks that were on the cusp of making the big money, but they've kind of cooled off and their bloom has faded. And that's tier 9. Russell Wilson, Daniel Jones, Kyler Murray, and Kirk Cousins. They're paying a lot of money, but they really haven't shown much.
I have to agree with that one.
Okay.
I have to agree with that one, Danny.
Now, tier 10 is all the rookies that have flashed some good stuff, and that is Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson down in Indianapolis, Will Levis. They are still, happy with the quarterbacks they have drafted, but they're still young, but there's flashes, and they're buying in thinking they have found the quarterback. Now, Justin Fields falls into the next tier, which is who the heck knows. And that is Justin Fields, Kenny Pickett of Pittsburgh, Sam Howell of the Commanders, and Jordan Love of the Green Bay Packers. All four of these kids, they haven't got to the second contract, the big money contracts yet, but there's no guarantee they will be signed by their current teams. And again, Justin Fields, he should be up in tier 6 with Brock Purdy and C.J. Stroud, but he's not. And the last one is basically a bunch of guys that, teams have moved on from, and that is Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, and Mac Jones in New England. So if you look at this chart, and you're thinking, where will Justin Fields be? Where do you put him tonight? Do you put him in tier 11, which is you still are not convinced he will become a special quarterback to lead your team?
Dan, he really hasn't done anything to think that he can do that from, and let me say this, it's 17-game schedule. Can he do it? Win from game, from week to week to week to month to month to month to year to year to year. He's been here 3 years, Dan. 3 years. And he hasn't even come close. It's just, if you want to go by facts, those are facts, folks. Those aren't my numbers. Those are the numbers.
I would argue, too, on his point, that the 3 years he's been here, Matt Nagy didn't do him any favors.
Zero.
Luke Getsy has certainly not done him any favors over the last 2 years to run plays that the kid can actually run. So have we seen the real Justin Fields? Maybe. I don't know. Or is there more there if he had a play caller that knew what he was doing?
Well, let me tell you something. Let me ask you a question, Ann and Dan. Is it the quarterback? He's the one guy that has to be different on the team is the quarterback. Okay? He has to take the team and take them and rise them up to that next level. that next top level. The quarterback has to do it, i.e. Patrick Mahomes. You can go on and on in this league. That's who you have to be, okay? You have to do it. And how do you do it? You do it by your play on the field, physically and mentally. That's how you do it. That's how you win. And you got to be capable of doing that. And our quarterback in almost 3 years has shown nothing along those lines. Nothing.
Yeah.
All we do is lose.
Yeah, I mean, the results speak for themselves.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, I can't tell you you're wrong because you're absolutely right. I mean, the numbers do point that out.
And he's got to, but it's always the quarterback, folks. Aaron Rodgers from Green Bay. What if they didn't have him? Would they even won one Super Bowl? Would they win 13, 14 games every year? You go on and on. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. You could talk about a lot of quarterbacks. Those are the guys that take a good team, good defense, good offense, and they rise it up. They're the ones. There's the only people that can do it in this league is that quarterback. And he's been here 3 years. And take a look at where we're at. Why hasn't he risen us up? I don't think he has.
No.
You may think he has. I don't. I don't think he's put this team on his shoulders and carried it even halfway through a season. Even halfway.
Okay, while you were talking, OB, over your shoulder, I watched some highlights from tonight's game. There was about 5 of them where Fields was in the pocket. It breaks down. He gets out, and instead of running, he found Kmet. And then later on, he breaks down and finds Mooney on a scramble. He's starting to get it. He's starting to make good decisions, not just run like a crazed dog for, yardage. Now, all that being said, you have to figure in, if you was to put together a highlight film of Justin Fields, it'd blow you away. But the bad thing
Wait
is...
a minute. It ain't going to blow me away, Dan.
Well,
I see it from week to week to week the last 3 years, okay? I see him where he's hurt and he can't play. He's out over a month. He's hurt for whatever reason. Always running the football.
You didn't let me finish.
Well,
you could put a highlight reel together, but the place you do not select would be the 120 sacks that he has endured. All the interceptions. He's got 6 on this year in, marginal playing of 6, 7 starts, Andy?
Yeah.
Would that be
Yep.
about right? All the catastrophe plays. You wouldn't put that in the highlight reel. But a football team has to endure that. You have to figure that in if you are going to say, we're not going to look at that. We're going to, stick our head in the sand and sign him to this mega buck deal for 4 or 5 years. As I just went through all these quarterbacks, every team has to decide, is this the guy? Did we see, the flashes tonight that makes them think, yes, we're going to live and die with him and think that he will become that quarterback you're talking about that raises a team up around him?
Okay. Here's what he did tonight. He was our quarterback, correct?
Correct.
There was no other quarterback for the Bears out there, right?
Correct.
There's 4 quarters in this game. Is that correct also? How many touchdowns did he score? How many did he run for? And how many did he pass for? How many touchdowns?
That'd be 0.
Thank you.
That's what I'm saying. This is the $64 million question, and it's coming fast. We're going to find out.
All right, we'll take a quick time out here. Hampton will be sponsored by your local Chevy dealers.
That was good stuff, Dan.
ChevyDriveChicago.com. Put a Chevy Silverado in your toolbox. Hey, he is back. Longtime sponsor, Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich is back. For all your auto, your home, your business needs, contact Vuk at jeffvuk.com. And remember, Nationwide is on your side.
Guys never wavered. So the guys in the locker room, appreciate them for, sticking beside me and, believing in me. Defense did a great job getting us the ball back for that last drive. And offense did a great job executing those plays. So felt great and really just felt good of, fighting through the adversity, ups and downs of the game. Guys never got too high or too low. And, we fought and, finished.
That is Justin Fields after the game. Bears win at 12-10 over the Vikings. Hampton will be sponsored by your local Chevy dealers at ChevyDriveChicago.com. So the Bears do win without the benefit of a touchdown, and they win their fourth game of the season. They win their first time inside the division in the last 12. And Matt Eberflus gets off the schneid with a win inside the division for the first time since he's been the head coach of the Bears.
Think about this. It's a game where only one touchdown was scored, OB.
Yep.
How many punts? Normally in a game like that, a 12-10 game, there'd be 25 punts. There was only 6 punts
3 by
tonight
each team.
because we're turning the ball over. Think about that. There were 6 turnovers. Crazy, but
sloppy game.
As Justin Fields aptly applied a little credit to the defense, there was some good stuff tonight, folks. The first thing, I tell you what, other than Eddie Jackson, our secondary, they really are playing pretty darn well. Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson really were terrific tonight, fighting it out. But the rookie, Terrell Smith, starting his very first game,
stepped up to the plate.
He did. He led the team in tackles with 8 tackles. And, he didn't get run off. I mean, he fought all the way to the end. On defensive line, some good stuff happened. Gervon Dexter, senior, OB. Dexter Sr., remember? Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, I watched him tonight. He was a man out there. He was throwing people around. That roughing the passer call was ridiculous. But I mean, I'm telling you, he was collapsing the pocket, doing some of the things that was expected of him, and is so valuable to this defense to break down the pocket. And Montez Sweat actually had a sack and beat some people at the line of scrimmage. He ran by the tackle, I counted 3 times, and hit the quarterback. All that being said, Tremaine Edmonds probably had his best game at middle linebacker, number 49.
Dan,
he's starting to show up.
Isn't that what the hell these guys are getting paid to do?
Oh, lots of money, $70 million.
Aren't they getting paid to do this, to show up?
Yep.
To play 4 quarters?
Yep.
A 60-minute game?
And T.J. Edwards
and then we got
had an interception.
How bad was Allen Williams? Look, these guys, say what you want about Eberflus. He's a good defensive coordinator because the defense has really improved since he took over.
Right now, the last 8 games, they're averaging giving up less than 20 points. And I remember when I played, we had a board, and the goal was to allow no more than 18 points a game. And the last 8 games, they're real close to that, probably 19 points a game. All that being said, all you can do on defense, is fight, scratch, and find a way to get the ball back for your offense. And as Justin Fields said tonight, after his 2 fumbles, he was able to take the offense the distance and get down for the chip shot field goal to win the game. So, again, there's a lot of good stuff, despite the fact our offense, our schematics, our execution, our penalties, the mistakes. You're not going to beat anybody that's any good, OB.
Dan, we don't, you sit here and you look for things to happen. You get the running game going. My God, why don't you come with the play action? And somehow, from quarter to quarter, or game to game, whatever it is, half the stuff disappears, Danny. The sprint outs, the bootlegs. These are stuff. Watch the good teams in the league. Just watch them and see the plays that they run. See how they attack, constantly going downfield, stretching the defense, loosening the defense up so you can hit the intermediate passing game. You can hit the short game instead of just going to the short game, to the short game, to the intermediate game, to the short game, to the horizontal screens, intermediate passing, short game. You never stretch the field. You got to open this up, Getsy. You got to open up the whole field. 53 wide, 100 yards long. Use it. Figure out a way to use it. We've got some talented receivers. We truly do. I love Mooney. I love Cole Kmet and more. They're terrific. And if you get them in the game and constantly hit those 3 guys, we're going to win. We're going to win, Getsy, but you don't do it.
This offense is run ass backwards. We'll talk about that when we get back.
312-981-7200 is our phone number if you want to jump in and join the conversation as well. Hampton OB, sponsored by your local Chevy dealers. ChevyDriveChicago.com. Put a Chevy Silverado in your toolbox.
Call Green Tea now for details. 800-5-GREEN-TEA.
Green Tea Service. Now back to the Hampton OB Show, sponsored by your local Chevy dealers.
Bears win it 12-10 over the Minnesota Vikings. Hampton OB, sponsored by your local Chevy dealers at ChevyDriveChicago.com. Let us go out to Minneapolis and hear from the victorious quarterback of the Chicago Bears, Justin Fields.
Yeah, I mean, first off, can't fumble. Need better ball security on that. And it's crazy because, Roshan, I think he fumbled a play or two before I fumbled on the first one. So I'm like telling him, ball security is the most important thing right now. Then 2 plays later, I fumble. Then the second one was like a backbreaker. But, the guys never wavered. So the guys in the locker room, appreciate them for, sticking beside me and, believing in me. And, defense did a great job getting us the ball back for that last drive. And offense did a great job executing those plays. So felt great and really just felt good of, fighting through the adversity, ups and downs of the game. Guys never got too high or too low. And, we fought and, finished at the end. So good.
Last pass to DJ, what did you see as they kind of bailed at least 3?
Yeah, I mean, that's the play we run all the time in practice. We've been running that play since, I can remember. But, I saw the deep defenders get a bunch of depth with, I think it was Tyler or Mooney or somebody, but deep through in a deep corner. And then really the only player that was, in the middle right there was 44, Metellus. And, he had no idea where DJ was. Of course, O-line did a great job protecting. Great play call by Luke. And, like I said before, that's just a play that goes back all the way to training camp. Guys executed at a perfect level. We've hit it in practice multiple times on our defense in a 2-minute situation. So, just going back to those banked reps and, everybody executing when we needed to.
As he makes his break and you see that window, what's the feeling you have in that moment?
I'm just locked in. There's no feeling. It's just, just straight tunnel vision locked into that. So, yeah.
What's the feeling afterwards, Justin? You guys have been talking all week about how you're going to finish.
Relief. We came in at halftime. We were up. Defense was playing a great game. Offense kind of got to a slower start that we wanted to, but, nothing that mattered in the first half mattered to us, starting in the second half. So that was, our message was just finish, because, there's been too many times this season where we've been up, we didn't do a good job of finishing. So, again, just going back, proud of everyone for fighting through the end, no matter what had happened and, finishing the game out and, ultimately got the dub. So, yeah.
Can a win like this, like the way you finished, is that something you think you carry over the final 5 games this season?
Of course. I mean, as a team, we haven't let, our record define who we are. We know who we are as a team. We know what we're capable of, and it's really just going out there and doing it, going out there, executing and finishing the way we know how, the way we did tonight, and really just cleaning up the mistakes because, if you clean up my 2 fumbles, we're probably not even in that situation. So, just, again, props to all the guys, coaches, teammates, and, sticking their head down and finishing.
Just the thought process on the passing game plan tonight, going short and horizontal for
Yeah, I mean, a team like this is what you kind of got to do. They want to, mug a bunch of guys up at the line of scrimmage and want to have 2 DBs out for 3 receivers. You got to outflake them and do that sometimes to, get them out of that stuff. So, that was kind of the plan going into it. But, I think the receivers did a great job on the outside perimeter blocking and, letting those bubs turn into 8 to 12-yard gains. And, those are big plays for us. So, that was a big emphasis, early in the week just to get the ball out and let those guys work on the outside and get the ball out quick because, they'll either have everybody at the line of scrimmage, blitz everybody, or, they'll drop out in the cover. So, guys handled it well and, just that was the main emphasis.
Give you a lot of credit for working with Roshan, especially working with him in space. What did you see from him early on that you were trusting going in?
Yeah, I mean, he did a great job, protecting. He's a great pass blocker. He's a hard worker, but, every time I'm throwing up for practice, he's there. So we kind of have that chemistry. I think there were, play early in the game where it was broken down. He did a good job finding an open zone. And, getting the first down, I think that might have been a 3rd down, but yeah, great job by him. And, he's getting better each and every week. So proud of the way he works. His work ethic is unmatched. And, you just see him working every day, grinding it out and, just getting others around him better too. So it's just really awesome to see him growing and getting better each and every week.
Justin, when Cairo misses that first field goal and then he ends the game the way he does, what can I say about him and the kind of stake of him?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of what our whole team goes through is like we're going to have adversity throughout the game. We're going to have ups and downs, but, the past is the past, and, we can't dwell on that. We got to, focus on the present moment and, keep going. So, he bounced back from the missed field goal. I was surprised that he missed it, to be honest, because he's been hot lately. But, he came back, hit the long field goal, and, of course, the game winner. That sealed the deal. So, bounced back great. Didn't let that miss phase him, and just kept kicking. So.
You guys have lost a lot of division games. Does it feel any different, any better than this one against the Vikings?
It just feels good to get a win. Anytime you can get a win in this league, it feels good. So, it's hard to win. And, I think as a team, it just feels good. No matter who we're playing, just feels good to win.
How do you all avoid frustration of defense giving you the ball back, and not being able to catch it? How do you avoid that frustration?
Just keep going. I think we had a few communication struggles early in the game with the O-line and stuff like that, but just keep chipping away. We knew our defense was, playing great. They've been playing great these past 2 weeks, and we knew the defense had our back. They just kept telling us, we got y'all's back, and just keep chipping away and putting points on the board. Like I said, if I don't fumble, we kick a field goal, make it 12-3. We're probably not even in that situation in the first place the way they're playing. So, defense played a hell of a game tonight, and definitely had our back for sure. Yeah, they brought all out, and Cole, I think he chipped the widest, and just had a check down. So they probably thought he was staying in and blocking and lost him, but he did a great job. O-line did a great job giving me enough time with being outnumbered by one, and I was able to just drift and get the ball out. Of course, Cole made a great catch and run, got the first down. So I think that was a big play in the game for sure.
Just a couple more. Justin, in the two games that you got back, where are you in terms of the arc of where you want to be, and what do you want to do the rest of the season when you guys get back from that personally?
I'm just taking it day by day. I'm not, where am I? I'm right here, I guess. I don't really know how to answer that question, but I'm just taking it day by day, just trying to get better each and every day, learn from my mistakes, and really just be the best I can be for this team. So, we're just going to take one day at a time, one game at a time, and, focus like that. So, don't really have any interim goals, and we're just going to focus on, the task that's next, and that's the Detroit after the bye week. So, like I said, just taking it day by day, and just focusing on the day that we have. So.
What a winning drive like that?
I really just wanted to, prove to my teammates that, that I had their back. The way the defense was playing all game, I had to come back and, at least give us a chance at the end. So, it felt great. Just with those two fumbles, adversity's hitting after the second one. I was sick to my stomach, I'm not going to lie to y'all. But, defense 3 and out, got us the ball back. And at the end of the day, when you do have that opportunity at the end of the game, everything before that, like I said before, just out the window. So you have, that's all you have. I forgot what the score was, but all I know is that we needed a field goal, and those 2 fumbles that I had, it was over with. So at the present moment, and like I said, guys did a great job executing at the end of the game when we needed to execute. So we got better from last week, learned from last week, and finished the game how we wanted to finish it.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, y'all.
Quarterback Justin Fields after the Bears' 12-10 win. Let me throw some numbers at you. They came in from ESPN Stats and Info. Fields was blitzed 52% of the dropbacks today. The Bears, of course, trying to combat that with the 13 screen passes that led to Fields' lowest air yards per attempt at 2.4 and air yards per completion 1.9.
Those numbers are unbelievable.
Yeah, here's another one for you. He threw 21 passes at or behind the line of scrimmage, the most in an NFL game since 2020.
Did you just listen to him on this interview?
I did.
He's talking like he played the greatest game of any quarterback in the history of this league. Guy is unbelievable.
12-10, the final. The Bears beat the Vikings without benefit of a touchdown. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll hear from the head coach, Matt Eberflus, before we wrap things up here on Hampton OB, which is sponsored by your local Chevy dealers. ChevyDriveChicago.com. Put a Chevy Silverado in your toolbox.
Andy, real quickly here. There's only one touchdown scored, folks, okay? And Minnesota did it with 5 minutes and 54 seconds in the fourth quarter, and that is when the touchdown was scored. That's the only touchdown. We won it without scoring a touchdown, scoring 12 points in a game. and this guy's talking about what he was talking about there, you think they won 54-0.
12-10, the final. Back with more at Hampton OB in just a moment.
Merry Christmas, WGN. Back to the Hampton OB Show, sponsored by your local Chevy dealers.
Hampton OB sponsored by your local Chevy dealers, ChevyDriveChicago.com. We heard from Justin Fields after the 12-10 Bears win over the Minnesota Vikings. Let's hear from the head coach, Matt Eberflus.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So just in there with the players, obviously very excited about the victory. The way we finished, the last part of it was good. Good complementary football, 3-and-out by the defense, and then taking it down there, the 2-minute drive to set us into field goal range. And then kneeling, and then making them use their timeouts, and then kicking it for the winner. We utilize that defense. We've used it a bunch of different times, that last play defense that you have where you're back all the way like that. And the guys did a good job executing that as well. So starting off the game, I thought we started off strong, in terms of drives, moving the ball down the field. Just didn't capitalize. You obviously missed that long field goal there, but I think it was 9 minutes, and Justin started 8 for 8, I believe, which is really good. And then obviously the takeaways by the defense. We had a punt on the first series, and then we intercepted the next 2. And that's good focus and concentration by those guys. And we've been working really hard during the course of the week of taking the ball away. And that's starting to pay off for us. So I thought the first half, ended well there. Just I thought too many penalties put us behind the stick sometimes with some opportunities. During that time, obviously the Kyler Gordon, the penalty that we had at midfield and just backing us up. And then we ended up stalling out on some penalties on offense on that one. So that was probably the most disappointing thing in the first half. But second half came out. I thought the defense came out ready to play. Was a 3-and-out. They had a couple interceptions right after that. And then, the touchdown by them was, it's good execution by them. We got to do a little bit better job on a couple instances there in our execution on defense. But overall, I thought the defense played stout all day. And it was good. Most proud of the guys, the way they finished, the way we worked on finishing, as a result from last week. I think it was really good for the guys to see that and go into the bye week. And going into the bye week pretty healthy, which is good. We'll get the guys, they'll be off the whole week. And then we'll bring them back in the following Monday. And we'll do a light walkthrough there and get them checked up and checked in and all that. So with that, open up to questions.
I'm asking the pass from Justin. He was a big one there.
Yeah.
As you saw defense coming over here, what's your vantage point in seeing the best receivers making their
Yeah, it was, you need that, in that moment you need it. We only really needed 15, 18 yards to make it nice, in terms of our kick line there. But, obviously when you get that big chunk there, it kind of seals the deal there. And, DJ runs a beautiful in cut. He's a great route runner, and, the way he played today, the way he took a lot of those short passes, and, take them for 8-9 yards at a time. And those aren't easy, and he's a heck of an athlete and a better teammate.
Now, what went into the decision to go for it on 4th and 10 at the midterm and have or so?
Yep.
And then not go for it on 4th and 3 at their 7?
Yeah, it's where you are in the game, right? So, at the 4th and 10 from the 38, we were outside our kick line there. So, you're just ultra aggressive there because you feel good how your defense is playing. If you don't get it, where the ball sits for them. So we felt good there. And then obviously down there, that's points. And you want to capitalize on points. And as the game went on, obviously the points were at a premium there. You knew it was going to be a low score. And, field goal meant something, in this game.
Now, what are your concerns about the offense overall? I know it ended well, but to get 4 takeaways and only 12 points, focus in the red zone.
Yeah, obviously we would like to capitalize on those, right? And that's what momentum is. When you get those takeaways on defense, momentum is created there. And the momentum is either finished there by the defense returning it, into a scoring zone or scoring themselves, or the offense getting that takeaway and then moving it into a scoring zone. And we have to do a better job of that. We have to capitalize on those. And, that's going to be a big part of our success going forward.
You always supposed to take away 2 games really out of 4. How satisfying is it?
It's good, and I've been part of some good ones, 30 plus a few times, and it's defense creates momentum in a lot of different ways, and they do it through third down stops, they do it through big hits, and they do it through taking the ball away, and that's what we always preach to the guys, and they did all 3 things today.
What was the math on the final after the throw to DJ? What was kind of the conversations upstairs with Richard about the math and just deals?
Yeah, first you talk about what hash. That's the big part of it, and then they had 2. So they're going to burn the 2. And then you figure out what the time is after that, and you do your kneeling. Rather than run the ball, you want to kneel it because it's a safer play. No reason to. And then we knew they had 10 seconds after the kick. So it was a good operation.
All right, head coach Matt Eberflus following the 12-10 win over the Minnesota Vikings tonight out at U.S. Bank Stadium.
Well, congratulations to the Bears. A win's a win, is a win is a win. And, now they have 4 on the season, OB, and 2 of the 4 wins came against teams that fired their head coach. Is the arrow pointed up? I think so. They got a week off. Then we have Detroit back here in Chicago in 2 weeks. So we'll see if we can find a way to kind of sustain some of this this good vibe. A lot of good stuff in Detroit. Didn't get the win tonight. Not so much good stuff on offense, but they did find a W.
Well, Dan, I from week to week these past several games, you're looking for somebody to, if it's the head coach or if it's the quarterback, it's got to be somebody significant in the coaching area and somebody significant in the playing area, in the player's area, okay? And by the player, I'm talking a guy that I believe that has to be, and he's the only guy that has to be the difference maker, and that is the quarterback. And the fact of the matter is, Dan, we have not seen that. We have not seen that. All we do is basically lose. We lose, I don't know how many different ways you want to call it or see it or look at it, but we lose, and that's all we've been doing. We only have 4 wins this year. What did we have last year? 3 wins. 3 wins last year, and you keep on going back and back. That's all we do is lose. And again, folks, let me say it again. The difference maker of the 53 people, the 53 kids on the team. I mean, obviously you got to have the coaches, have to be bright, smart, up to date, and get their point across to the players as an individual and as a team. Okay? But what has to be is that quarterback has to be the guy that takes that team up to that new level that we haven't seen. He is the only one on that team can't do it. A defensive tackle can't do it. One receiver can't do it. He is the only one, the quarterback. And have we seen it so far? I don't think so. Maybe some of you people think we have. The only thing that I go by are wins and losses. And we are not very good, folks, and for a reason, because we had a quarterback, in my opinion, that has not taken us to the next level.
Fuel up for the Bears' next game. It's sponsored by Mariano's, where you can save up to $2 a gallon by saving Mariano's fuel points. Take your money and mileage farther with Mariano's. It's a bye week coming up. And the Bears will then host the Detroit Lions on the 10th of December, that is, at Soldier Field. It'll be a noon game. Another division game will be on the air with you at 11 a.m. for our pregame show on the 10th of December. So enjoy the week off here, and we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks. Big thanks to Sam Martino, Jack Heinrich, Krista Flores, and Adam Phillips for their help here tonight. Hampton OB has been sponsored by your local Chevy dealers at ChevyDriveChicago.com. Bears win it 12-10 over the Vikings.
It's John Williams, middays on WGN, and my show sounds best on the WGN app. Download it and make us the first button on your digital dashboard. See how at WGNradio.com.
It's 19 degrees and cloudy at 12:31. Good morning. I'm James Sears. The truth behind the new contact sharing feature on the iPhone. The Bears won at Minnesota 12-10. In college basketball, Northwestern beat NIU 89-67. WGN traffic. Right now, everything out there on the expressways and tollways look to be in good shape. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer plans to bring a bill tying Israel and Ukraine funding to the floor as soon as next week.
Aid to Israel, Ukraine, humanitarian aid for civilians in Gaza, and the Indo-Pacific are all related and demand bipartisan cooperation.
President Biden is requesting $106 billion from Congress for Ukraine, Israel, Taiwan, and border funding, but Republicans are seeking border policy changes as part of any spending bill, a demand Schumer says is holding up critical aid to U.S. allies. Well, it turns out the new context sharing feature in Apple's iOS 17 update is not the security risk it's been made out to be. Name Drop allows you to easily share your contact information with another iPhone user by simply holding the phones close together. The feature is automatically turned on when the latest iOS update is installed, prompting police departments around the country to warn iPhone users their personal data could easily be stolen. But Wired Magazine reports consent is required throughout the sharing process, making a theft unlikely. Regardless, you can turn off the Name Drop feature in your settings. The forecast from the WGN Chicago Weather Center. Tonight is the coldest night of the season, a low of 15, but as chilly as 9 above inland. Wind chills by the morning, 0 to 10 degrees. Then a mostly sunny but chilly Tuesday, breezy, a high of 25. Wednesday, sunny, breezy, not as cold, a high of 39. Right now, we do have mostly clouds out there across the area. 19 degrees at O'Hare. That feels like 7. I'm James Sears, WGN News. Next news when it happens. Next scheduled news at 1 o'clock.
Ho, ho, ho! Treat yourself to a Bobcat zero-turn mower this holiday season. Get 0% financing for up to 60 months or up to a $1,000 rebate through December 31st. Jingle all the way to Bobcat of Houston and Conroe today.
At Enterprise, we know you're constantly on the move. Getting this?
Thanks, Mom.
Fixing that. You reach a destination. And then it's on to the next. And when life is moving at the speed of, well, life, Enterprise is right there with you. Around the corner and around the globe. We'll keep you moving forward. Enterprise. For lives in drive.
Hi, I'm Damian Fowler. Join me and other industry pros on The Current Report, your weekly recap of the biggest headlines from around the world of marketing. Learn more about The Current Report at thecurrent.com and subscribe to The Current wherever you get your podcasts.
No matter where you're headed, Citgo is a good place to start. And whether you're crossing the state line or just going cross town, Club Citgo can save you money on every fill-up along the way. Like 3 cents off every gallon every day. Download the Club Citgo app and start saving instantly at the pump. Whether you're heading into work or just to work out, when you start with Citgo, you're good to go. Savings good up to 30 gallons, only at participating locations. Data rates may apply.
If you can't get a good night's sleep, let me ask you, are you breathing well? Because if you're snoring or waking up each night with a stuffed up nose, or frustrated with your CPAP mask, the root of your sleep problem lies in your breathing triangle. And if any one of those passages isn't working, you won't sleep well. And there's no mattress, pill, or other gimmick that can fix that. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. A recipe for a good night's sleep starts with an open airway. Now, there are devices that can help solve snoring or sleep apnea problems. If you walk into a sleep center, know you'll walk out with a CPAP. And you might find other options elsewhere. But the simple truth is, if your nose doesn't work properly, no device will help. Only at Advent will you find every effective snoring and sleep apnea solution, along with a world-class team that can get your nose working properly again.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Sugarland. It's the Worship Live Tour starring Fred Hammond. Anthony Brown. Time to Live. Doing it all again. And Vashawn Mitchell. The Worship Live Tour, November 30th at the Smart Financial Center at Sugarland. Tickets available now at livenation.com. The Worship Live Tour.